The arrogant challenger. The medical scanner beeped steadily as I lay in the regeneration pod, my 4 arms wrapped in healing gel, and my pride shattered into more pieces than my exoskeleton. My name is Carthon of House Vextar, and 3 days ago, I was the most decorated warrior in the Vexian Empire's military forces. Today, I am dictating this report from a hospital bed, having learned a lesson that cost me several broken bones and what the humans call a reality check. It started at the Neutral Zone Diplomatic Station, Delta 7, where representatives from 12 species gathered for the annual trade negotiations. I had been assigned as security chief, a position that showcased my impressive combat record. 700 victories in sanctioned duels, 3 war campaigns, and not a single defeat in my century-long career. My crystalline exoskeleton bore the etched marks of each triumph, and my secondary arms displayed the ceremonial blades of my ancestors. The human delegation arrived late, as their species often did. Ambassador Chen walked through the airlock with that strange human gait, upright on 2 legs, no natural armor, no visible weapons. He smiled constantly, showing those flat teeth that couldn't even pierce synthetic meat. His delegation carried cases of what they called cultural exchange materials, mostly food items and entertainment devices. During the opening ceremony, I observed Chen carefully. Humans were relatively new to the galactic community, having achieved faster-than-light travel only 50 years ago. They seemed soft, emotional, always talking about cooperation and mutual benefit. Where other species displayed their military might, humans brought trade goods and medical supplies. Commander Carthon, Chen had approached me during the first reception, extending his hand in that odd human greeting ritual. I've heard impressive things about your security arrangements. I looked down at his extended hand, my primary eyes focusing while my secondary eyes scanned for threats. Ambassador Chen, your species' reputation for diplomacy precedes you. He laughed, a sound I would later learn meant many things to humans. We try our best, though I understand your people value strength above words. Strength is the universal language, I replied, my mandibles clicking with emphasis. It determines who leads and who follows. Interesting perspective, Chen said, still maintaining that smile. We humans have a saying. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire, but the wisest warrior knows when not to draw their sword. I dismissed it as meaningless philosophy. Humans were known for their sayings and proverbs, substituting words for action. As security chief, I had reviewed their military capabilities, projectile weapons, chemical explosives, primitive compared to our plasma cannons and molecular disruptors. Their ships were sturdy but slow, their ground forces small but oddly persistent. The formal dinner that evening sealed my fate. Seated at the head table with various ambassadors, I watched Chen navigate the complex dining protocols with surprising grace. When the Kraken ambassador accidentally sprayed him with ink, Chen simply wiped his face and continued eating, even making a joke about needing seasoning for his meal. Your tolerance for insult is remarkable, Ambassador, I said loudly enough for the table to hear. My people would demand satisfaction for such an offense. Chen's smile never wavered. No offense taken, Commander. Accidents happen, especially when we're all learning each other's ways. A Thrakeri merchant leaned forward, his feathers rustling. The commander raises an interesting point. Humans seem unusually passive in the face of challenges. We prefer to choose our battles carefully, Chen replied, cutting his food with those primitive metal utensils. I couldn't help myself. Or perhaps you lack the capability for true combat. Your species evolved as prey animals, did they not? Hiding in caves, running from predators. The table fell silent. Even the musical Zeleni stopped their harmonizing. Chen set down his utensils very deliberately, and for the first time, his smile faded slightly. We did start as prey, he said quietly, but we became the apex predators of our world. Through intelligence, adaptability, and yes, Commander, through violence when necessary. Words, I scoffed. my secondary arms spreading in a gesture of dismissal. The Vexian Empire has conquered 17 systems through strength alone. Your species has what, 3 colonies, built through negotiation and trade agreements. Ambassador Vrix of the Saurian Confederacy hissed in warning. Commander Carthon, perhaps this conversation. No, I interrupted, standing to my full 3-meter height. I tire of this diplomatic dancing. Ambassador Chen, I challenge you to single combat. Let us see if humans truly deserve their seat at this table. The silence was absolute. Chen looked up at me, and something changed in his eyes. Later, I would recognize it as the look of a predator that has been sufficiently provoked. Commander, Chen said softly, in my culture, we have a tradition. Before accepting a challenge, we give our opponent 3 chances to withdraw. This is your first. I laughed, a harsh sound that echoed off the station's walls. Typical human weakness. I do not withdraw. I challenge you formally, in front of these witnesses. Chen nodded slowly. Very well. Your second chance is to choose the terms. Non-lethal combat, perhaps. First to yield. Full combat rules. I declared. Submission or incapacitation. Medical teams standing by. The station's combat arena. Tomorrow at the 15th hour. Your third chance, Chen said, standing slowly, is to reconsider this path. Once we begin, I will not hold back out of diplomatic courtesy. I will treat you as a genuine threat and respond accordingly. Accepted, I growled, my battle hormones already surging. Prepare yourself, human. Tomorrow, you learn why the Vexian are feared across the galaxy. Chen bowed slightly, that strange smile returning to his face. I look forward to the education, Commander. For both of us. As he walked away, I heard him murmur something to his aide. It sounded like call medical. Book the good surgical suite and prepare Form 44B, diplomatic incident involving justified self-defense. I should have listened to that warning. I should have paid attention to the way every other species at the table avoided my eyes, or how Ambassador Vrix shook his head sadly. But I was Carthon of House Vextar, undefeated warrior of the Empire. I was about to learn why humans had survived every predator on their world and become the dominant species of Earth, the hard way. The warning signs. The next morning came too quickly and not fast enough. I had spent the night in preparation, running through combat simulations and studying what little footage existed of human combat capabilities. Most of it was historical, wars between their own nations, sporting events, training exercises. Nothing that showed their true potential in interspecies combat. Station Commander Zilux found me in the armory at dawn. The cetacean's translation device gurgled with what I now know was extreme anxiety. Commander Carthon, Zelix's melodious voice filled the room. I must formally request you withdraw this challenge. I continued checking my ceremonial combat armor, testing each joint's flexibility. The challenge has been accepted. Honor demands completion. Honor be damned. Zelix's translator screeched, a sound I'd never heard from the typically calm administrator. Do you have any idea what you've done? I've been receiving messages all night. The Galactic Council is concerned. The Thrakari Emperor himself called to express worry about diplomatic relations. I attached my plasma blade to my primary arm. Let them worry. This will demonstrate Vexian superiority once and for all. Zelix moved closer, his aquatic form rippling with distress. Listen to me carefully. I've pulled every file, every record, every piece of classified information I could access about human combat capabilities. What I found, Carthon, they're not what they appear. Spare me your fears, I growled, testing the charge on my shock gauntlets. I've seen their technology. Projectile weapons, chemical explosives. Primitive. Their weapons are primitive because they've had more practice killing than any other species we've encountered. Zelix's tentacles slapped against the floor. Do you know how many wars they've fought among themselves? Thousands. Do you know how many ways they've invented to kill each other? I stopped counting at 10,000. I paused in my preparations. Exaggeration. Their military history goes back 8,000 years. They've fought with stones, metals, chemicals, atoms. They've turned healing sciences into weapons. They've weaponized diseases, information, even their own psychology. And through it all, they've survived. They've adapted. They've evolved not despite violence, but because of it. A chill ran down my spine. But I suppressed it. Then why do they seek peace now? Because they've seen what their violence can do. Zilix pulled up a holographic display. Look at this. Earth, 70 years ago. They split the atom and used it as a weapon. Twice, against their own species. The destruction was so complete, so terrifying, that they stepped back from the brink and chose a different path. I studied the images of mushroom clouds, of cities reduced to ash. They feared their own power. They mastered it, Zilix corrected. They looked into the abyss of their own destructive capability and chose restraint. Do you understand what that means? They're not peaceful because they're weak. They're peaceful because they know exactly how dangerous they are. Before I could respond, my communication unit chimed. Messages flooded in from other species representatives. From the Kraken ambassador, Carthon, I have seen humans in defensive combat. Withdraw while you can. From the Saurian Confederacy, our military archives contain footage of human endurance tests. No biological being should survive what they consider training. Please reconsider. From the Zelani Corps, their music contains war songs that resonate with frequencies we use for demolition. Their very art is weaponized. Do not do this. I deleted each message. Fear was the enemy of warriors, and I would not let it cloud my judgment. At noon, I made my way to the combat arena. The station had reconfigured the space to accommodate various fighting styles. A circular platform 40 meters across, with emergency force fields and medical stations at the ready. As I entered, I was surprised to see the viewing galleries packed with representatives from every species on the station. The betting boards caught my eye. Initial odds had favored me 10-1. Those had shifted to 3-1 by morning. As I watched, they dropped to even odds. Commander Carthon, a young Vexian runner, approached, bearing a message from our own embassy. Sir, Ambassador Krex orders you to withdraw. He says this goes beyond personal honor now. I brushed past him. Orders from bureaucrats meant nothing in the arena. Chen arrived precisely at the 15th hour. He wore simple clothing, loose pants, and a fitted shirt that revealed his musculature. No armor, no visible weapons. He carried a small bag which he placed carefully at the edge of the arena. Commander, he called out, I filed all necessary paperwork with the Galactic Council. Form 44B for justified self-defense, Form 12C for diplomatic incident waiver, and Form 88A for medical cost allocation. Everything is in order. Paperwork. I laughed. You prepare for combat with paperwork. Preparation takes many forms, Chen replied, beginning a series of stretches. I also brought several medical consent forms for you to sign. Standard human liability waivers. I watched him warm up, studying his movements. They seemed random at first, bending, twisting, rotating joints in ways that looked almost dance-like. But something about the efficiency of motion made my secondary eyes twitch with unease. Ambassador, Station Commander Zelix's voice echoed through the arena. Commander Carthon, as per Protocol 7 of the Neutral Zone Accord, I make one final offer of mediation. This combat can still be avoided. The challenge stands, I declared. Chen finished his stretching and walked to the center of the arena. The commander has made his choice. I'll try to be gentle. The way he said it, not as a boast, but as a genuine statement of intent, sent another chill down my spine. Around us, the crowd held its breath. The betting boards flickered one more time. Suddenly, inexplicably, the odds shifted to favor the human 2-1. Medical drones powered up their systems. Emergency teams took their positions. The arena's force field shimmered to life, containing the combat space. Combat will commence on the third tone, Silux announced, his voice heavy with resignation. May the universe have mercy on us all. As the first tone sounded, I saw Chen close his eyes and take a deep breath. His entire demeanor changed. The friendly diplomat vanished, replaced by something that made every instinct in my warrior bloodline scream warnings. The second tone echoed through the arena. I activated my shock gauntlets and calibrated my targeting systems. My 4 arms spread in the traditional Vexian combat stance, flowing river form, perfect for both offense and defense. Chen opened his eyes and smiled. It wasn't the diplomatic smile from dinner. This was the expression of a predator that had spotted prey. The third tone sounded. The education was about to begin.